Hello and welcome everyone, it's Capcan, and today we're gonna look at best Retribution Paladin talent tree builds from Dragonflight pre-patch. It's currently pre-patch, which means that we have our legendaries, our covenant abilities still available for us, which means that these builds are gonna be changed when expansion hits. And that means that when it hits, there's gonna be new videos on my channel about new additions and new reworks of the talent trees. But for now, for pre-patch, for current available version of the game, it's this information is gonna be good. So yeah, we're looking at information at Wowhead, so thanks for them. I'll leave link on the Wowhead article in the pinned comment below the video. I'll leave link to the builds themselves in the pinned comment video below, in the pinned comment below the video. Thanks for watching, and yeah, subscribe to the channel if you want to have more content like this, because there's definitely gonna be more content like this. So yeah, let's read a little bit about the author. Hi, I'm Bolas. I've played Red since Wrath of the Lich King and am a former top 10 raider. You can find me on Twitter or in the Hammer of Wrath Discord if you have any questions or are interested in more information about Retribution. Alright, so I guess anyways, on Wowhead there are only truly experienced good authors of guides, which means that we can justifiably believe the information that lies here, and still then afterwards we're gonna make our own conclusions to all the info that we're given. So Retribution Paladin raid talent builds. A lot of Red's talents are effectively mistakes, and the difference between the good and the bad talents is also very high, so the differences between builds focused on single target or AoE are a bit subtle. Hybrid builds like dropping Righteous Verdict or some ranks of High Lord's Judgment for Tempest of the Lightbringer while keeping Ashes to Dust over a Radiant Decree to maintain single target damage are also totally reasonable to use as well. Note, Hallowed Ground, Consecration's damage is increased by 10%, is currently bugged and increases all holy damage by 10% instead of just Consecration. Oh, that's quite handy buff, you know. Until this is fixed, you should put your last point in the class tree into it instead of Seal of Might, regardless of single target or AoE. So yeah, probably, well, just let's not like call to people to use broken stuff in the game. That's kind of weird, because let's hope that it's gonna get fixed, and then you will use something that you would use in like real situation, and when there's not a broken, literally like broken talent. But either ways, so we have our single target, completely single target and more cleave AoE raid talent builds. Let's go. I guess so. We're taking anyways Lay on Hands. That's one of our main saving cooldowns. It's not only defensive, you can save other people with it. Blessing of Freedom, it will give you way to grant someone immunity to movement impairing effects. Then Hammer of Wrath we already have, and Auras of Swift Vengeance we as well have by default. Then we have Fist of Justice. So yeah, let's go with this like right arm. Fist of Justice. Each holy power spent reduces its the remaining cooldown on Hammer of Justice by 2 seconds, which means that you will have more stuns. Greater Judgment. Judgment causes the target to take 20% increased damage from your next holy power ability, and that's quite good. Then we take Rebuke, which is our interrupt. Seal of Reprisal. Your Blessed Hammer deals 10% increased damage. Okay, or like Hammer of the Righteous. Yeah, so, and our last talent in here is gonna be Incandescence. Approximately 5 procs per minute. Each holy power you spend has a 5% chance to cause your consecration to flare up, dealing additional holy damage to up to 5 enemies standing within it. So we're taking this talent even if we're going full pure single target build, which is definitely quite interesting. Then we have our Divine Steed, of course, that's one of our main mobility skills, so like main mobility skill. Yeah, your leap onto your charger for 3 seconds and increasing your movement speed by 100%. Then we take Seasoned Warhorse, increases the duration of Divine Steed by 1 second. Avenging Wrath, of course, that's one of our like main DPS cooldowns. And this part of Avenging Wrath increases your damage and healing done by 20% and allows you to use Hammer of Wrath to cast like on any targets. Then Cavalier, Divine Steed now has 2 charges. So our Divine Steed is gonna be increased, like improved by 2 talents with 1 additional second duration and 2 charges. Then we have Holy Aegis, armor and critical strike chance increased by 4%, which is definitely gonna be pretty good for both your defensive and offensive. Consecration heals you and 5 allies within it. For a little bit of your attack power every 1 second. That's if you want to, yeah, that's definitely gonna be quite useful in raids, because when all melee like characters stay near the boss, they will have a little bit of healing on them thanks to this talent. Then we have Judgment of Light. Judgment causes the next 25 successful attacks against the target to heal the attacker, which we previously had as talent. A Blessing of Sacrifice, you take you like redirecting someone's damage towards you. Yeah, you like suffer this prevented damage. Then we have Unbreakable Spirit, reduces the cooldown of your Divine Shield, Divine Protection and Lay on Hands by 30%, okay, and Shield of Vengeance as well. Sorry, too much content in one day makes your throat a bit like wacky. Then we have our Divine Purpose. That sounded like weird, but yeah, I mean like YouTube content, you know, of course. Divine Purpose. Holy Power abilities have a 15% chance to make your next Holy Power ability free and deal 15% increased damage and healing. So that's one of the like most broken stuff. You 100% take, you need to take it. There's no questions about it. Seal of Might. During Avenging Wrath, your mastery is increased by 4%. Which again like makes your cooldown even stronger and is definitely gonna be handy. Here we have recompense. After your Blessing of Sacrifice ends, 50% of the total damage it diverted is added to your next judgment as bonus damage, or your next Word of Glory as bonus healing. This effect bonus damage cannot exceed 30% of your maximum health, and its bonus healing cannot exceed 100% of your maximum health. So as you can see, it's quite like cool, and it's in style of Retribution Paladins to retaliate some portion of damage that you've taken from the ally that was suffering parts of like that damage of those attacks that you've like then retaliate. So yeah, pretty cool. Then we have Aspiration of Divinity. Your Hammer of Righteous Blessed Hammer now also grants you increased primary stat for 6 seconds. Multiple applications may overlap. Of Dusk and Dawn, when you reach 5 Holy Power, you gain Blessing of Dawn. When you reach 0 Holy Power, you gain Blessing of Dusk. Yeah, damage and healing reduced by increased by 6%, and damage taken reduced by 4% for 15 seconds. So this one, it requires you to follow your own rotation more precisely. So it's like you need to go up to 5 Holy Power and then go down to 0 Holy Power at least every 15 seconds, and that's when you will have both your buffs up. And here we have Soul of Order. In the Dawn, that's our final talent. In the Dawn, your Holy Power spending abilities deal 10% increased damage and healing. In the Dusk, your armor is increased by 10% and your Holy Power generating abilities cool down 10% faster. So yeah, just an additional, like very, very good buffs here, nothing else to say. Very good talents, like in the end, very good damage that you can get from them. And then we go for our specialized talent tree. So we're starting with Blade of Justice, which is one of our main building abilities. Divine Storm is one of our main, it's like our main AoE spender. Then we have Art of War. Your auto attacks have a chance to reset Blade of Justice, which will give you like essentially additional free resource with your Blade of Justice procs. Holy Crusader increases your mastery by 2%. Holy Blade, Blade of Justice generates 1 additional Holy Power, which is of course even better with Art of War taken. Then we're taking improved Crusader Strike. Crusader Strike now has 2 charges. Again, that's all our resource generation, and that's mostly all the things that we currently have already, either as talents or as passives. Then we go with Empyrean Power, which is our talent currently as well. Crusader Strike has a 15% chance to make your next Divine Storm free and deal 25% additional damage. High Lord's Judgment increases judgment damage. Templar Verdict increases damage of your next Templar Verdict, which is very, very single target oriented talent. Inner Grace, every 12 seconds in combat you gain 1 holy power, and again, more resource generation is always gonna be quite handy. Exorcism, instant 20 seconds cooldown, blasts the target with holy light, causing holy damage, burns the target. Applies the damage over time effect to up to 7 nearby enemies if the target is standing within your consecration, which makes this talent, this skill very, very good in AoE situations as well. And then what are we getting when we're going to central part of the tree? Shield of Vengeance, that's one of our defensive / offensive cooldowns. You're just getting shield that is, if popped, it's gonna deal some damage to enemies around you. Wake of Ashes, very, very good generator for resource and AoE damage. Cooldown, Ashes to Dust, Art of War has 30% chance to reset the cooldown of Wake of Ashes instead of Blade of Justice. So yeah, as you can see, we can get more abilities that are more powerful, more chances to reset cooldowns of those abilities, which means that we will have more uptime of those stronger cooldowns. Then we have Crusade, call upon the light and begin a crusade, increasing your haste by 3%. Each holy power spent during crusade increases haste by an additional 3% stacks. 10 stacks. If Avenging Wrath is known, also grants 3% damage per stack. So yeah. As you can see, it's more of a building up through the time talent that will convert this 20% straight up to potential 30% increased damage and healing output. Then we will go to our last part of the tree, and with this part of the tree we're going further down below. Blade of Wrath. Art of War resets the cooldown of Blade of Justice 50% more often and increases its damage by 25% for 10 seconds. That's still a kind of a question for me how it's gonna work with Ashes to Dust, but probably it works on that. So it means that your Art of War still is gonna have 50% more to this 12%, which will then be multiplied to 0.35, and probably it will increase damage of your Wake of Ashes as well. Then we have Zeal, Judgment empowers, so this oh no, wait a second. After Blade of Wrath we have Consecrated Blade. Art of War causes Blade of Justice to cast Consecration at the target's location. The limit on Consecration does not apply to this effect, and probably it still works with this Wake of Ashes conversion of the Art of War. Zeal, Judgment empowers you with Holy Zeal, causing your next 2 auto attacks to occur 30% faster, deal additional damage, like our previous talent. Healing Hands as well, the cooldown of Lay on Hands is reduced up to 60%. Word of Glory healing is increased by up to 100% on the target's missing health? Really? With Word of Glory? Okay. I don't really know which talent was here to on your choice, but if there was the talent that gives you free flashlights or those free flash heals, wouldn't that be better? But again, I'm not the guide writer, which means that I have no problems with the choice here, but still, if you look to any guide afterwards, just read all talents by yourself, think for yourself, think what still can be better. Maybe if you're thinking that some talent choices are suspicious, check other guides. If you don't know, like, of course we can't really, like, without proper testing, you can't really know which one is better. And that means that, like, numerically, it's kind of hard from time to time to know what do you need to take, really. But still, you can at least check other sources and be more sure in the choices that you're doing. Ashes to Ashes. When you benefit from Art of War, you gain Seraphim for 4 seconds. Seraphim, it like grants you high haste, critical strike, versatility, and mastery percentages, which is definitely gonna be very good. A Virtuous Command. Judgment grants you Virtuous Command for 5 seconds, which causes your Templar's Verdict, Crusader Strike, Blade of Justice, and auto attacks to deal additional holy damage, which is just like very powerful. And our final Reckoning. So instant 1 minute cooldown, a blast of heavenly energy, dealing massive holy damage to all targets in the target area and causing them to take 50% increased damage from your holy power abilities for 8 seconds. Passive, while off cooldown, your attacks have a high chance to call down a bolt that deals some part of like your attack power holy damage and causes the target to take increased damage from your next holy power ability. So with 1 minute cooldown, it's definitely not too big of a cooldown in terms of just like 1 minute. Yeah, it's very good. I don't really know if that's really that much better for like your single target damage. If your AoE ability is your best single target damage ability, there's definitely something wrong with like the tuning, but maybe everything can like change, I guess. And maybe that's the case currently. Okay, so that was our single target. With the cleave, you see that we're not taking Seal of Might. We're taking Hallowed Ground. Consecration's damage is increased by 10%. So even if it's like not broken, you will take it in order to deal more AoE damage. And then what are we doing here? So we're taking only one High Lord's Judgment. Then we're taking Sanctify. Enemies hit by Divine Storm take 100% more damage from Consecration for 8 seconds, which is definitely gonna help you with AoE. We're not taking Righteous Verdict, and here we have Radiant Decree instead of other talent that we've had. Replaces Wake of Ashes. Oh, I get it. Yeah, so our Art of War still procs Blades of Justice, and replaces Wake of Ashes with Radiant Decree. Radiant Decree spends your holy power 15 seconds instead of 45 seconds cooldown, but it costs 3 holy power. Lash out massive radiant damage to all enemies in front of you and reducing their movement speed, deals reduced damage beyond 5 targets. Demon and Undead also stunned. Is that probably it's like it has to be efficient, because otherwise it wouldn't really be taken here. So yeah, but as you can see, like for me, for a usual you can say like I'm kind of casually playing the game. I love M+, I love raiding, but I'm not really on the like most hard part of the community when it comes to those activities. For me, this choice is really like non-intuitive. So I wouldn't really take another holy power spender to replace Wake of Ashes when you can have additional just like free Wake of Ashes procs. But probably again testing might have shown that it was like better. Then we're still taking Crusade. We're going, everything else goes just like that, except for we're taking Tempest of the Lightbringer. Divine Storm projects an additional wave of light, striking all enemies up to 20 yards in front of you for 20% of Divine Storm's damage. So just additional damage like procs. So yeah, that was your single target, that was your cleave builds for raids. And now we're gonna go with Paladin Mythic Plus talent for Paladin Mythic Plus talent builds. Your damage talents are unlikely to change much from dungeon to dungeon or from week to week, since your AoE focused talents are extremely good in AoE, but you don't lose a whole lot of single target damage to take them. Utility nodes are a different story, as you'll probably want to swap between talents like Blessing of Protection or Blessing of Freedom, depending on what the situation requires. Yeah, that's like utility is always something that goes that requires you to like read the situation better. So we're still taking Lay on Hands, we're still taking Blessing of Freedom, we're taking Clean Cleanse Toxins though, and that's like more utility in here. We're taking Blinding Light, which that's our AoE interrupt like most of the times. Then what's there? So our right part of the tree is still the same. Everything that goes into the center is very much like, oh, so we're taking these 2 talents and we're not taking these 2. So Consecration heals you and 5 allies within it every 1 second, because there probably wouldn't really be 5 allies that are all melee and they're standing near you, and M+ has a number of different mechanics that like separate all the party members, and that's logical that you're not taking Golden Path. Judgment of Light as well, next 25 successful attacks against the target. Because probably most M+ packs are cleared with AoEs, and it's not gonna be as useful. And some mobs can die before you're gonna use this 25 successful attacks against the target. And and instead we're taking these 2 things, and everything else is quite the same on the general talent tree. Now let's look at the specialization talent tree. So we're having the same start. Yes, we're going like with Blade of War, everything goes in the same way. Then we're at the center, we're still like before. Radiant Decree again is more optimized AoE choice in here, which is like, okay, it's very hard to tell with like talents like this which one is better. Some like low chance proc that you're gonna have your bonkers ability up more, or just like replacing that ability with something that is way more sustainable. It has 15 seconds cooldown, it's more reliable, stuff like that. So then we're still taking Zeal. We're still going in this part with Final Reckoning. Again, if Final Reckoning is a good enough talent for your single targets, it's probably gonna be like very good for your AoE. Exorcism still. So that's 1-to-1 your cleave talent tree for raiding, which looks a bit questionable, because like probably in M+ you want to have a little bit more specific stuff, but if everything is calculated, then probably something that is AoE related is gonna be most efficient in both raiding and Mythic+, if AoE damage is needed anyways. So that's all with our guide in here. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Hope you are gonna enjoy playing in pre-patch and Dragonflight expansion itself. Definitely thanks for Wowhead for all the great info that they're providing. Subscribe to the video if you want more content like this, because there's definitely gonna be a bunch of content like this. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and goodbye.